water resources and its management is probably as old as human civilization. So we have to look at it in a millennial, centenary, and also in a very shorter time scale. The problems in Africa, especially in Western and Southern Africa, is particularly that of the population growth, and also that in these these continents, the soils are usually very old and not very fertile in general. Now, these two, first and foremost, looks nothing to do with water, but water is what humans need. Humans need to grow their crops, and it means that two other factors, which are basically not very close to water at the first sight, are co-determining how we have to deal with water. It means that water stress is increasing also because of climate change. Higher temperatures mean higher evaporation. More water is needed for the same crops. So it means the stresses on water resources management are enormously increasing. The biggest problem, and it is worldwide, even in a water-endowed Europe, is pollution. Pollution also in those countries which you know much more as targets for high intensity touristic enterprises, because they are beautiful reserves. Anywhere where you want to develop industries, economic development, better water supply and sanitation means that you probably accelerate bringing pollutants into natural water bodies, unless you have a new development paradigm to immediately take care of these environmental externalities of economic development. We have to develop new technologies, which may be even more expensive. We have to have a good convincing power that on a longer term, and this longer term is still in your lifetime, so you buy in, that solutions, sustainable solutions, environmental friendly solutions, green solutions if you like, are paying off. And this is a major challenge for the profession, but also for politicians and actually for every citizen to understand it, internalize it, and act accordingly. Hungary is actually in a relatively good position to capture part of the water market. Water market, I mean not to sell water, but water industries, environmental technologies. It is because we are part of the developed world. We have a well-functioning and high educational level in technical sciences. We have also an educated workforce, and this is still able to produce internationally marketable water technology in a reasonable price. The first one in 2013 was an extremely important event, because I'm convinced that without the 2013 Water Summit, we might have had difficulties to have a so-called dedicated water goal in the Sustainable Development Goals, which were then decided by the member states of the United Nations in 2015, in September 2015. So the 2013 Budapest Water Summit was a big success, both for the Hungarian diplomacy and for the water community. So we are extremely grateful also for President Áder for patroning this event and spearheading this effort to have a dedicated water goal. The visit of the then Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to Budapest was a signal that the UN was listening and understood this message. The 2016 was already 1 year within the new Agenda 2030 period, working already for the Sustainable Development Goals on their implementation. This produced a document 29 pages long, and if you go through, you realize that all water challenges and also the nucleus of the solutions are put together. So if you have 2 hours to read 3 hours, 30 pages, you can have a good catalog what you have to take care of. But 30 pages is, of course, something you need 3 hours to read. It is not a punchy message to say that, hey, it does not hit your heart, it hit your mind, and this is a bit slow sometimes. So in a way, we are aiming now to have this aha effect, that the people realize that you have to act. There is a certain urgency. It's not a crisis by the origin of the Greek word is a time to decide.